Shalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rūpa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Aschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Friday and Saturday morning series on Rūpa Śikṣā. In the last class, we began within the Rūpa Śikṣā the third theme, which was the symptoms of pure devotion. So if you remember, I will just share the screen so that you can get an idea. We discussed within the Rūpa Śikṣā how it is not possible to describe fully the devotional service and how rare is pure devotional service. So the categorization of the jivas based on the different levels of consciousness and how a pure devotee, Krishna Bhakta, who is Nishkam and Shant, how rare is. Others are Bhukti, Mukti and Siddhi Kamis. And how this pure devotion begins when we achieve the Bhakti Lata by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, and how by cultivation we attain Krishna Prem, and what are the two major obstacles. So this is pure devotional service. So let us now understand the symptoms of pure devotional service. So this is the theme we have been discussing, and we went through these verses, Shuddha Bhaktir Lakshana, and Prabhupada's commentary on this Anya Bilashitam Shunyam. Very, very deep and profound commentary. Although Prabhupada does not each of the words analyze and gave a elaborate commentary as the acharyas do, but he has given something which is very unique and the essence of pure devotional service. So we analyze this commentary of Prabhupada quite in detail. And if you could just repeatedly go through this commentary and try to implement, then we are heading towards pure devotional service. So we saw this commentary. Now that we have seen Prabhupada's explanation on this verse of Anya Bilashita Shunyam, we will be actually going into the nectar of devotion where Rūpa Goswami has defined this pure devotional service, as well as we will be seeing the commentaries of Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, and insights into Prabhupada's nectar of devotion summary study. We will be seeing some of the important points Prabhupada has mentioned in the summary study also. So in the Eastern Division first wave, Purva Bhaga, Pratama Lahari, there is the Vastu Nirdesh, Akilar Samrit Murti, that is Rūpa Goswami's work. Preface to the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is by Prabhupada in his book. Then there is the definition of devotional service and the 6 characteristics of devotional service. So in the last class, we recited this verse. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. The highest bhakti, Bhakti Uttama, is defined as continuous service or emotions. Here it is continuous service, or it is either service or emotions. So we will come to this, what it means, continuous service. Cheshta. Cheshta means to endeavor for the pleasure of Krishna. And there is bhav also. Directed towards Krishna, his expansion, or others related to him. That is the meaning of the word Krishna. Krishna Anushilanam. With a pleasing attitude towards Krishna, Anukulena. It should be done devoid of desires, other than the desire to please the Lord. Anya Vilashita Shunyam. And unobstructed by impersonal Gyan, the materialistic rituals of karma or unfavorable acts. Gyan Karmadya Anavritam. Now let us go into Jiva Goswami's commentary on this pure devotional service. As I was mentioning that Rūpa Goswami composed Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he himself did not write a commentary. And Jiva Goswami was assisting Rūpa Goswami in helping him, like he used to get the leaves, dry them so that Rūpa Goswami can write the verses. And he used to help him with editing and all. So our 2 stalwart acharyas, Rūpa Goswami and our Siddhanta Acharya Jiva Goswami, took 17 years to complete this work, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. 17 years. And you can imagine how important is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for us. If they took 17 years to write this book, then at least for 17 years we should study this book every year. And Jiva Goswami was personally assisted by Rūpa Goswami. He was personally assisting Rūpa Goswami, and he himself has written a commentary which is called as the Durgama Sangamini Tika. Difficult to resolve. That which is very difficult to resolve, he has resolved it by his commentary. That means without Jiva Goswami's commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we cannot penetrate into Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And of course, there is Vishwanath Chakra Thakur later on in the Guru Shish Parampara, who gave his commentary, an elaborate commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And as far as I remember, his commentary title is Sarartha Pradarshini. Pradarshini means to throw light. Sararth means to the essence. So Sar Artha, the essence, the meaning of the essence Pradarshini. Pradarshini means, Darshini means to throw light. And not only did Vishwanath Chandra Thakur write commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but he also composed another work called as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. Bindu means just a drop. Vishwanath Chandra Thakur's humility is coming out here. I'm just trying to understand one drop of it, of the ocean of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has 2,170 verses, and he took the essence and explained the entire Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in, I think, 84 verses. So he gave the essence in the form of compiling 84 verses explaining Rūpa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So there are two works of Vishwanath Chandra Thakur. Vishwanath Chandra Thakur's commentary is also very deep and profound, which further helps us to relish Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we will be seeing both these commentaries now. First is Jiva Goswami. So let us now go into the commentary. We will be discussing line by line here, and if you have questions, please don't hesitate to raise your hands. First, we'll see how Prabhupada is translating this verse in his summary study. How is paraphrasing? First class devotional service, Bhaktir Uttama. So Bhakti is devotional service, but Uttama is first class or pure devotional service. Is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably. Now, my question to the audience is, it's already mentioned here, Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam, but which words are explaining Anukulena and Krishna Anushilanam here? Every word where it is mentioned here in his summary study of Nectar Devotion. Anukulena, Krishna and Anushilanam. Where is it mentioned? Who would like to answer? Where is Anukulena and Krishna Anushilanam? Who would like to answer? Yes, Pirendra Yadav Prabhuji. Anyone who wants to type it, they have to type it to me only. Yes, Pirendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Here, Anukulen refers to fully engaged, and Krishnanusilanam is Krishna consciousness.
Okay. You have to be still more precise. Anukulena means Anukul means what?
Favorably.
Yeah, serving the Lord favorably. Here it is Krishna and Anukula is here. Okay. Now, Anushilanam. Where is Anushilanam? Anushilanam.
It's a fully engaged in Krishna consciousness.
Fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Fully engaged. I'm trying to, bring and highlight this point. Fully engaged means 24 hours. Not without any break. You will come to that now. Pure devotional service should be free from the desire for any material benefit or for sense gratification. No desire for the fruit. That is Anya Bilashita Shunyam. Pure devotional service must always be free from such fruitive activities and philosophical speculations. Gyan Karmadya Anavritam. One has to learn Krishna consciousness or pure devotional service from the authorities by spontaneous loving service. So here again Prabhupada is defining Anushilanam. He has already defined fully engaged. And here he is saying, here is saying again from the authorities by spontaneous loving service. Now, who will answer how, where is Anushilanam mentioned here in Prabhupada's statement? Where is Anushilanam mentioned here in Prabhupada's statement? And specifically, you can break Anu. It means you have to split Anu and Shilanam, where it is mentioned in this statement of Prabhupada. Anyone would like to try? Who would like to try? Nobody is raising their hands. What happened? Yes. You can always type it to me, the answers. Anu is following the authorities. And here, what is Shilanam? Where is Shilanam mentioned? Where is Shilanam mentioned? Who would like to answer this? Anu means following the authorities. Where is Shilanam mentioned? Where is Shilanam mentioned? Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, it is spontaneous loving service.
Spontaneous loving service. So it's very interesting. Prabhupada has given two meanings of Shilanam. One is to be engaged. So this refers to especially sadhana bhakti. And here spontaneous loving service refers to especially, bhava bhakti or even raganuga bhakti in one sense, but specifically it refers to bhava bhakti. So this now we will become more clear when we see Jiva Goswami's commentary. See how Prabhupada is giving a deeper insight about Shilanam. So we'll now come to that. Now, before we go into the actual verse discussion, let us see this verse. There are primary and secondary characteristics of Uttama Bhakti. Sarupa Lakshan, Tatastha Lakshan, or what is called as Mukhya Lakshan and Gauna Lakshan. Specifically, these words, there are many ways we can describe Mukhya Lakshan, Gauna Lakshan, primary and secondary in English. But sometimes this term is more suitable. Swarupa Lakshan, Tatastha Lakshan, Tatastha Lakshan, Swarupa Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. So the Swarupa Lakshan of Bhakti is Anukulena Krishnanushilanam. And the Tatastha are Anya Abhilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karmadya Anavratam, Gaun. Now, what are these primary and secondary characteristics? What is Mukhya Lakshan or Swarupa Lakshan? And what is this Tatastha or Gauna Lakshan? Now, here I have defined them. Removing these characteristics, there is no Bhakti. If you take the Swarupa Lakshans out, Bhakti is itself not there. Just like water has two Lakshans, Swarup and Tatastha. The Swarup Lakshan of water is that liquid water. If you take away that liquid water, there is no water. Water doesn't exist only. There is no question of water. If the water is in the form of ice, it is not water no more. It's not in its Swarupa, liquid. The Swarupa of water is liquidity. Now, the secondary characteristic of water is, okay, there is water now, liquid water, but whether it is pure water, filtered water, or you might say, or it is muddy. So when it is muddy, then there are secondary characteristics. It has to be purified. So that is how there are always these two characteristics in any object, Swarupa and Tatastha. So removing the Sarupa Lakshan or the primary characteristics, there is no bhakti. Just like if you remove liquidity from water, water is itself not there. Now water is there, but it is dirty, muddy. Then you have to remove the mud. So similarly, secondary characteristics, removing these characteristics, the bhakti ceases to be of a superior nature. So there is water, but it is not pure water. So there is bhakti because there is anukulena and Krishnanushilanam is there. But that bhakti is performed with desires to attain Swarga or to attain a higher planet or higher kingdom greater than Brahma, as Dhruva Maharaj was practicing bhakti. So his bhakti was, anukulena. He was doing it for Krishna's pleasure. He was doing it continuously. He was continuously engaged. But there was abhilasha in the form of Sarga, in the form of a kingdom greater than Brahma. So there is Mishra Bhakti, it is called. Shuddha Bhakti and Mishra Bhakti. So removing the characteristics of Bhakti, it ceases to be of a superior nature. It becomes inferior nature. So this is the difference between Sarupa Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. This is very important for us to understand the concepts of Sarupa Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. Now here is an example. Identify the Gauna and Mukha Lakshans in this definition of a good student. Whatever I explained about Mukhya and Gauna Lakshan or Sarupa and Tatastha Lakshan, there is a definition. The Nyaya Kosh Dictionary of Logic defines Sarup Lakshan as a thing's fundamental nature. The fundamental nature of water is liquidity. That's its fundamental nature. It can be in the form of ice, but that is its not true nature, artificial nature it is. And the Tatastha Lakshan as a secondary nature that further defines it. So further, whether that water is pure or is it muddy. So these are the further definitions by the secondary nature. Now here in this example of good student, the statement is that Rishikesh goes to school and scores very good marks. Hence, he is a good student. So now devotees try to identify in this statement what is the Sarupa Lakshan of Rishikesh and what is a Tatastha Lakshan by which he is called as a good student. Who will try this? New devotees, I would like to see their hands raised. Anyone else? The Sarup Lakshan and the Tatastha Lakshan in this statement. Only one hand is raised. Okay, Manoj Prabhuji. Just a second, my mouse is not working. Yes, Manoj Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Prabhuji, Swarupa Lakshan here, by being a student itself is called Swarupa Lakshan.
No. Just to see the statement and tell me from the statement which is Sarup Lakshan, which is Tatastha Lakshan. That's it.
Since he's going, Rishikesh is going to school, he is Swarupa.
Okay.
And the Tatastha is by being a good student, he is a Tatastha, that covering the Tatastha.
Okay, excellent. No. Once again, come back.
Since Rishikesh is going to school, sorry, I need to correct. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Rishikesh is going to school, he is the Swarup. And by scoring good marks, and because of that, he is a good student, so that is the Tatastha.
No. The Tatastha is he scores good marks.
Yes.
And that's how he's a good. That's how you can
student,
conclude he's a good student. Yes. Excellent. So there are many who go to school. The Sarup Lakshan is there, but they might fail.
Yes.
So then he cannot be a good student.
Correct.
So this is Mukhya Lakshan, this is the Gauna Lakshan, and then what comes out as a good student, the Uttama Bhakti. So that's how we should understand this Swarupala and Tatastha Lakshan. Okay, fine. I hope this understanding of the concept of Swarup Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan is clear to the devotees. Any questions on this? We will go step by step into this understanding of pure devotional service. Any questions or any clarifications regarding this? If you have, you can raise your hands. Okay, no. So let's continue then. Now let us come to Anushilanam, the first Swarupa Lakshan. Anushilanam, in Sanskrit, every word can be traced to the root of that word, especially the verbs. These are called as verb declensions. The root is shil. Anu is a prefix, and nam is also a suffix, you can say. So the root word is shil. So the root dhatu, it is called in Sanskrit, the root of word dhatu is actually shil. And anu is just a prefix. So let us go now to the word shil. Now this shil has two connotations. Connotations are implied meanings which further give a different shade of understandings apart from the literal meaning. You know, the sky is blue. And this is the literal meaning what when we are saying the sky is blue. But when you say a statement that when she heard the death of her father, her face turned blue. So it's not that literally her face turned blue, but it is implied that she became morose or she went into depression. So there are like that implied meanings, and these are called as connotations in English. And now for the word shil, there are two connotations. Pravritatmaka, these express actions to worship, practice, and serve. And nivritatmaka. Nivritatmaka means non-actions, that is to be intensely absorbed. So Shilanam, like somebody is engaged in running around here doing the deity worship, Abhishek and all. So these are engagement, Shilanam, where there is action. But somebody might be just sitting and fully absorbed in meditating on Krishna. So there is no action you see, but that intense absorption is also Anushilanam. So like that, there is Pravritatmika and Nivritatmika. And this is the two shades of meanings for the word Shil. Now let us come to the meaning of Anu. Anu has many meanings. Anu can mean continuous, with devotion, repeatedly, following after. Now Prabhupada used both these meanings of Anu in his statement. Now devotees hear attentively. Prabhupada used both. The Anu can have many meanings, and sometimes the meanings, many meanings can be used in a particular context, or only one particular meaning can be used in that context. So here I would like devotees to point out two different meanings of what Prabhupada has used in his definition. So here Prabhupada has used, Anushilanam, and which among the two meanings he has used here in his first statement and in his last statement. Who will answer? Raise your hands. It's quite simple. Who will answer this? Amal Bhakti Rani Mataji. Just want to check. Yes, Mataji.
This continuous, is it the continuous cultivation of service, devotion?
Yes, yeah, that is here. It is used in that context. Anu means to be continuously engaged. Now, when Prabhupada is using here in his fourth statement, one has to learn Krishna consciousness of pure devotion from the authorities by spontaneous. So here, what does the meaning Anu refer to?
Continuous.
No. There are 4 different meanings of Anu. Which one fits here now? If you want, I'll show you. I will show you the 4 different so that you can see here. Which one among the 4?
With devotion.
No.
Repeatedly with devotion.
No. Following after.
Okay.
Following after. Following after is the right one. There is spontaneous loving devotion, so that is already implied there. Spontaneous loving devotion is there. Devotional service. Service means, devotion is there, or pure devotional service from the authorities. So Anu here is referring to following the authorities. So that is how we should very systematically study Prabhupada's work. Okay, so now we have finished with this. Now let us come to now further Jiva Goswami's commentary on Anushilanam. Because of the Pravritatmika and the Nivritatmika connotations of the root sheel, the word Anushilanam also takes on 2 different flavors. Because this sheel has these 2 different connotations, so it also takes on 2 different flavors. One is called as Śikṣā Rūpa Anushilanam. So it takes the form of, Rūpa means form, of Śikṣā Rūpa Anushilanam. What is Śikṣā Rūpa Anushilanam? Indicates continuous actions. Please remember, Anu means continuous, without any break. Please focus that pure devotion service. If somebody is practicing pure devotional service, which is called as Ananya Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti, or Ahetuki Bhakti, or Kevala Bhakti, Amishrita Bhakti, or Nirguna Bhakti, or Akinchana Bhakti, all these mean the same, Shuddha Bhakti. So first criteria is it should be continuous. If there is any break, then Ananyata is lost. Then it is no more pure devotional service. So that is why Anushilanam, they're continuous, continuous action. Now there should be continuous action using mind, body, and words without any spiritual emotions. So in Śikṣā Rūpa Anushilanam, it indicates continuous action using body, mind, and words, but without spiritual emotions or bhava. Generally, this refers to the sadhana stage of bhakti. Generally refers to the devotional stage at the sadhana stage of bhakti. Now, what is Bhavar Upanishalam, the second shade? There is again indicates continuous actions using mind, body, and words with spiritual emotions. So that is the difference here between Śikṣā Rūpa and Bhavar Rūpa. There is with emotions. This is with emotions. This is without emotions. That's the only slight difference. But here again, we need to emphasize about continuous. When we define pure devotional service, like take the definition in 126 of the Bhagavatam, Savai pumsan paro dharma yato bhaktira dokshaje ahetuki apratiyata jayatma suprasidati. So here ahetuki means without any desire, that is anya bilashata shunya. Apratiyata refers to what? Without any interruption. There is no interruption. That means it is continuous. There is no break. only that kind of devotion, yayatma suprasiditi, it gives pleasure to the self, because that bhakti is pure, it gives pleasure to Krishna. When Krishna is pleased, we are also pleased. So here, pure devotion, the first criteria is that it has to be continuous without any break. Like even in the Gita definition, if you see of Ananya Bhakti, Ananya Cheta Satatam Yoma Smarati Nityasha Tasyam Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. So here also you see, I'm just trying to open that verse from the Bhagavad Gita, 8.14. Ananya Cheta Satatam. Cheta means your consciousness. Ananya. Ananya means without any break. Satatam. Satatam means continuous. Yoma Smarati Nityasha. Smarati means to remember, and Nityasha means what? Nityasha means again, it means always. Let's see what Prabhupada translates. Regularly. Prabhupada translates as regularly. So Ananya means without deviation of the mind. The mind is not deviated to any other object except Krishna. Yomam Smarati Nityasha Tasyam Sulabham Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. He's fully engaged regularly, Prabhupada is saying here. So even if you see the Gita definition of Ananya Bhakti, it means continuous. So this is first thing devotees should note, that Ananya Bhakti is a very, very exalted platform. And I don't know about you all, but I'm at least not practicing Ananya Bhakti because of continuous. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Pariupasate Tesham Nitya Bhiyuktanam Yogaksheme Vahamyam. Ananya, having no other object, means our object of meditation is only Krishna. It doesn't go to any other object. Chintayanta, concentrating only on Krishna. Ye jana pariupasate. Pari means all round, continuous worship. Nitya abhiyuktanam, always fixed in, linked in devotion. For such a devotee, Krishna says, I carry what he lacks and I protect what he has. So Ananya definition has to be very, very clear, or Anushilanam. Anushilam here means continuous. So Cheshta and Bhava. Now, as I was mentioning, Cheshta Rupa Shilanam is, at the stage of sadhana, and at the stage of Bhava, there is love for Krishna, and based on that love, we do actions for Krishna. Just to give a difference of, just to understand the difference between Cheshta Rupa and Bhava Rupa, just like a mother has her own child whom she has given birth. So she is doing continuous service to the child, morning to night. Even in late in the night when the child cries, the mother gets up and serves. Now, in one sense, if you see, the actions of the mother with respect to the service for the child, those actions are because of the love. The love is there within, and that's why there are actions. So Bhava Rupa Anushilanam is something like that. The same mother, if there is some neighbor child also who is staying in the home because the neighbor parents have gone out of station, she's also serving the child, and she's taking care of the child, feeding the child, taking care of some needs. But all those actions, what the mother does for the neighbor's child, in one sense, they are not coming out of the natural spontaneous love the mother has for her own child. Out of a sense of duty, one might be doing that. There is some love, definitely, but not as the mother possesses the love for her own child. And she might, take care of the basic needs and not stretch herself out, day and night continuously doing service for that neighbor's child. So that's just a idea I'm giving to understand Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam and Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. Ultimately, I'm just making a statement which Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes, that in Bhava Rupa Anushilanam, it is, the bhavnas. This begins at the stage of Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti only. Bhava Rupa Anushilanam, there is love, there is bhava, spiritual bhava for the Lord. And because of that love, one is maddened and he is doing actions for Krishna. There is Cheshta. So whether it is Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam or Bhava Rupa Anushilanam, in the end, it is always Cheshta which is happening. But a sadhaka who is doing sadhana bhakti, he is doing endeavor because his authorities have told he is doing sadhana bhakti. He has to engage his mind, body in Krishna service. He's impelled by the scriptural rules or the authorities, his spiritual master. But a bhava bhakta, he's impelled by love for Krishna. And because he has spiritual bhava and he is doing actions. So in the end, it is Cheshta only which is there. But these two shades are there of Cheshta Rupa and Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. Now let us go back again to Prabhupada's definition. And sorry, I went way head down. Now here in this definition, can you point out in the first and last statement, which is Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam and which is Bhava Rupa Anushilanam? Who will answer this? Which is Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam, which is Bhava Rupa Anushilanam? There is first hand raised. Dr. Archana Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. First part is Cheshta Rupa and second half is Bhava Rupa, because there is a spontaneous.
Oh, not first half, and first statement and the fourth statement, right?
Yeah, one has to learn Krishna consciousness or a pure learn is this part is a Anucheshta and second is with Bhava. From that it is by spontaneous loving service.
Yeah, it is with Bhava. Yes, exactly correct. And the first statement is more of like a Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam. Yes. So this is the difference between Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam. Of course, there are still deeper understandings, but for now, this is sufficient for us. Now, any questions regarding Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam or Bhava Rupa Anushilanam? Any questions regarding it? Yes, Dr. Archana Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have one query. When we involve ourselves in two forms or two shades of Anucheshta or a Bhava Rupa, so there has to be involvement of all three, mind, body and words as well.
Okay, very interesting question. Very interesting, very nice question. When we involve ourselves in both these types of cultivation, Cheshta Rupa or Bhava Shilam, whether there has to be involvement of all the three, body, mind and words. Now, firstly, let me clarify your question. It's not that when we practice devotion, both the shades are present, Cheshta and Bhava. No. In sadhana bhakti stage, there is only Cheshta. There is no Bhava Rupa Anushilanam practiced. Only when one comes to Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti, there is Bhava Rupa Anushilanam and there is Cheshta also. But in sadhana bhakti stage, there is only Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam. And this is the first thing one has to get a clear understanding. And when one is practicing sadhana bhakti, that sadhana bhakti has to be continuous. Then only he is actually qualified to practice Uttama bhakti. Then only he is qualified to practice Uttama bhakti if it is continuous. Now, this continuous can be done either with body, mind, or words. Even if with body you are doing actions for Krishna, but the mind is somewhere else, still it is okay. Still you qualify as an Ananya Bhakta. So that's why sometimes, we cannot fathom Prabhupada's statement when Prabhupada says that all the monkeys and the animals, the hogs in Vrindavan are all pure devotees. Yes, they are pure devotees because they are Ananya Bhaktas. They are continuously in touch with the Dham. Their body is contacting the Dham continuously. So we are not Ananya Bhaktas because we are not doing that continuous contact with the Dham. So Prabhupada, that's why I say that they are pure devotees. And they're just going through a little purification, and the next life, they will go back to Godhead. So even the monkeys, they are in the Dham, they are just lying down, sleeping in the dust of Vrindavan, in the holy dust of Vrindavan, and they are performing continuous Ananya Bhakti with the body. So it can be either with body, mind, and words. But again, there are levels in this. So doing actions with body, further, if there is an engagement of the mind, that is at a higher level of devotion. If there is words, yes, there is higher level. Still with words, there is also with the mind, then it is still higher. So like that, there are higher levels within that also. I hope this is clear to you, Mataji.
But see, I'm at a very primitive stage of sadhana or bhakti, what you call. But sometimes while chanting or sometimes worshipping the god or idol of the Krishna, we get goosebumps or sometimes you cry. So what are these emotions linked to?
Oh, okay. These spiritual emotions, what we experience in our, not even sadhana stage, we can say, because I told you, even if one is in sadhana stage of bhakti, if he is not doing continuous practice of devotion, then he is not qualified still for Ananya Bhakti. We are somewhere below that. We are not practicing pure devotion, we are practicing mixed devotion because still our heart has so many other desires. We are not still Anya Bilashita Shunyam. And we are not still having that qualification of Jnana Karma Anavritam. Because when we do actions, to maintain our body, while doing those actions, there is a forgetfulness of Krishna. So that karma covers our pure devotional service. So we are not practicing Shuddha Bhakti, we are practicing something Mishra Bhakti, but we are doing some core devotional activities, which is called as Sakshat Bhakti. Like, chanting 16 rounds, hearing Krishna Katha for some time. In that 24 hours, maybe 2 hours we are chanting, 1 hour we are hearing Krishna Katha. So like that, few hours in the 24 hours, we are practicing core devotional activities. But sadhakas who are practicing devotional service continuously, they are qualified for practicing Ananya Bhakti. This is the first point to be understood. Now, there is Rati. Rati is also called as Bhava. Rati is pure attraction for the Lord, pure love for the Lord. It is the beginning or the bud of Bhava. Now, there is something called as Ratyabhas. Ratyabhas. Abhas means a dim reflection. A dim reflection. Just like there is sun, and the sun is covered by the clouds. So you get a dim reflection of the sunlight. So similarly, Rūpa Goswami defines in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu when he speaks about Bhava Bhakti, that devotees might experience some symptoms of Bhava in the form of, hair standing on end or tears, coming from the eyes. Now, it doesn't mean that, we have attained Bhava Bhakti. It is just by the mercy of the Dham, by the mercy of the pure devotees, by the mercy of the darshan of the deities, we just get a dim reflection of that Bhava, and that is called as Ratyabhas. It is called as Ratyabhas. But we should remember that this is special mercy, and we should not get too much carried away also by that. We should just focus on practicing our devotional service and come to the stage of practicing Ananya Bhakti in our sadhana stage, which is more important. And of course, this kind of mercy which is bestowed by the dham or by the deities or by chanting the holy name, again, it is directly Krishna. It actually sustains our devotion also. We have experienced something, certain spiritual emotions which are not the experience of this world. So that gives us faith and impels us, it gives us inspiration to practice more devotion. So that's how we should take it. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. It's a long, long, long way to go.
Yes, yes. But it is also a very, very short way. If we have faith in the process and if we wholeheartedly engage, Jiva Goswami explains that this path of pure devotion is like an express highway. We all have experienced driving a car on express highway. How quickly will we reach our destination? So this path of pure devotion is like an express highway, but there is always chances of accidents also on the express highway in the form of offenses, inattention. So if you take care of that, then it's like an express highway also. Okay, so any other questions regarding Cheshta Rūpa Anushilanam and Bhava Rūpa Anushilanam before we go further? Any other questions, clarifications? It's very important. Each and every statement we need to understand. Now we have covered Shilanam, but we need to understand what exactly is Shilanam. Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Prabhuji, here Cheshta Rūpa Anushilanam, it says continuous service. But actually we are not following this continuous service. I mean, 24 hours, how practically we can relate with whether we can achieve it or not?
Yes, very important question. Yes, Ananya Bhakti begins when we start practicing Bhakti continuously. Then only Ananya Bhakti begins. Now, this is the Swarupa Lakshan. If there is Swarupa Lakshan, if this Anushilanam is not there, continuous is not there, then we are not practicing Ananya Bhakti. So we have to become aware then. Then what are we practicing? We are practicing Mishra Bhakti, especially Karma Mishra Bhakti, because we are doing karma also to maintain our body. We are doing some work. So it's more of a Karma Mishra Bhakti only is what is being practiced now. Along with that, as I was mentioning, we are practicing some core devotional activities, that what I was terming as Sakshat Bhakti. And that is what, is like our chanting of 16 rounds, deity worship. So in our 24 hours, we see that some hours we are practicing at least, the Swarupa Lakshan is Anushilanam and Anukulena. But then still the Gauna Lakshans, are, it's not Shuddha Bhakti because Anya Bilashata Shunyam is not there. So like that, we are not practicing Ananya Bhakti. This is first thing we need to understand. But with doing these Sakshat Bhakti activities in whatever 24 hours we are getting, if we start doing them and start getting the taste for hearing Krishna Katha, for chanting, slowly, Prabhupada explains that one from the Kanishta Adhikari comes to the level of a Madhyam Adhikari. And only from the stage of Madhyam Adhikari, Prabhupada explains, is one's Shraddha fully developed, which is called as Purna Shraddha. And from there onwards, your Ananya Bhakti begins. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defines who is the Madhyamadikari. Nirantara Namaloy. He is continuously taking the name because he has taste for taking the name. That means he is practicing Ananya Bhakti. So from the Madhyamadikari platform, one actually begins Ananya Bhakti, and that matures, because if you begin from the Madhyamadikari platform Ananya Bhakti, that is in the sadhana stage, because it fits in the category of sadhana stage, then we will quickly attain bhava and prema. So here now the point is that we are in karma mishra bhakti. That means we are within the realm of karma. We are not practicing Gyan Yoga, because for Gyan Yoga, the qualification is complete detachment, vairagya. And then you are qualified to practice the path of Gyan. Similarly, for Ananya Bhakti, there is continuous devotion. That means your faith is, Purna. You have attained firm faith in Krishna. Jata Shraddha Mat Kataso Nirvinna Sarva Karmasu. Your Jata Shraddha, your faith has awakened to such a stage. Jata Shraddha Mat Katado, in Krishna's Katha, Nirvinna Sarva Karmasu. I don't want to do any other activity. I just want to hear Krishna Katha. I'm not interested to maintain my family. I'm not interested to do Nirvinna. You have become disgusted with all activities of karma, even of varnashram or anything. So this is very exalted platform we can see. It's a Madhyama stage where one is doing Nirantar Nam. So from here onwards, you have attained Purna Shraddha and you are qualified to practice Ananya Bhakti. And these stages apply, Bhajan Kriya, Anarth Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prem. So you cross them very, very quickly or very fast. You cross them very, very fast. So now, since we are not at this stage, what we should do? Firstly, we should understand clearly this definition of pure devotional service and understand that what is our adhikar. We have now karma adhikar. We are not having Ananya Bhakti adhikar, we have karma adhikar. So Mahaprabhu is defining Stane Stita Shrutigatam Tanoba Vanovir Yane Prayasa Udapasanamante, this famous verse from the Uddhav Gita. So Stane Stita means be situated in your varnashram. Means do actions according to your inclination, and wherever you are situated, you hear Krishna Katha. So by hearing Krishna Katha continuously, slowly that faith will go up, 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 and a time will come when that faith will fully mature and we will take up to Ananya Bhakti. So we have to design our life in such a way that we get time to practice more and more core devotional activities. So that is how we need to do. And this is the way. I hope, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, it is clear to you.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you very much. Prabhuji, just one more clarification, just I want. This, you mentioned Nirantar Naam Lay. Now, sometimes we are not with our beats. So, I mean, can it be done just, without beats also, Nirantar Naam Lay?
Yes, if you have chanted your rounds very attentively and developed, a lot of taste for it, the jiva will be continuously chanting. It cannot stop without taking Krishna's name, because there is so much rasa you are experiencing. So it is chanting off the boots also. So at least this will happen at the Madhyamadikari stage, because in the Madhyamadikari stage or Namabhasya stage, Chitta Nirmal, the Chitta has become pure. And Namabhasya Sarva Papashaya. At the stage of Namabhas, all the Papa is destroyed. Papa and Punya is destroyed. So the obstructions which happen in bhakti because of papa and punya, where our consciousness gets deviated into these things, that also doesn't happen. And there is taste for chanting. So naturally, you're continuously always, you have love for Krishna. You're always doing kirtan within. It happens. But now for us, at least, as sadhakas, we should chant very attentively our rounds, and at other times, even when we are at work or when we are moving around in this world, we should try to chant the Mahamantra. Best is to chant slokas, to chant bhajans, so that mind is also engaged in thinking and remembering Krishna. Is it okay, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Partha Sarthi Prabhuji has a question. This is the last one we will take for today. Yes,
Hare
Partha.
Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, I did not have any doubt right now, but I hope this session is recorded.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. It is there. Okay. Okay. Any other clarifications anyone has about? We are still in Śikṣā Upanishalam and Bhavar Upanishalam. We're trying to understand Anushilanam. Vaishali Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, I just wanted to check, since you said Ananya Bhakti means like constantly chanting, constantly engage. So
I'm not saying this.
Yeah,
The definitions are
yeah,
saying.
you discussed.
Gita,
So,
Bhagavatam.
what I wanted, how is it possible in a Grahastha ashram to, if we see Brahmachari ashram or Vanaprastha or Sannyasa ashram, at least we see that they are 24 hours engaged in the Lord's service.
No. It's a. This is a. You can say. This is a misperception about. It's not that somebody who's a brahmachari, he's continuously engaged. In fact, he might be engaged in more prajalpa. So we cannot say that. There are umpty number of examples. Those who were in the Grahastha, in fact, more examples are there of those in the Grahastha ashram who practiced Anyanya Bhakti as per this definition from Gita, Bhagavatam, or Rūpa Goswami.
Yes,
There's a
yes,
famous example of which I like to quote is of Narsi Mehta in Gujarat. Although he was a Grahastha, he was continuously absorbed in bhajan, and his wife was saying the neighbors are, speaking about our daughter. She's she's of marriageable age, and you're still keeping her at home. Do something. And the Narsimata said, why are you disturbing in my bhajan? Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana pariyupasate tesham nitya abhayuktanam yogakshema. Yoga and shema Krishna will do. Krishna will, Krishna, it is Krishna's family. She is not my daughter. She is Krishna's daughter. Krishna will take care of the marriage. So don't disturb my bhajan. And he was disturbed and he was crying from inside. Krishna, these things are disturbing my bhajan. So then somebody came to see the daughter, and the marriage got fixed. They saw that the muhurta is only coming after 1 year, but there's only one muhurta after 4 days. So they decided to do the marriage after 4 days. So and they left. And Narsi Mehta said, see, Krishna arranged. What Krishna has arranged? Wife is saying. Who will arrange for the marriage now? Who will arrange for the dowry? How will he feed the guest? How will he give gifts to the guest? Where is the money? Because he was not earning, he was completely absorbed in bhajan. He said, Krishna will arrange. What Krishna will arrange? When I got married, I had got from my home all the jewelry, gold. Take this, go and sell it, keep it with the merchant, get the money for the marriage. So everything was tied in a bag, and Narsi Mehta was going to deposit this with a banker and get the money. But while going, he heard some Krishna Katha is going on there. Some Bhagavad Sapta is going on. And his mind got attracted because his consciousness was always in Krishna. He went and sat there. And while taking prasadam, he asked, he was told that the katha is not there. Why the katha is not there evening? He said, 7 days are over. What? 7 days are over? Then he came back to his consciousness. My goodness, 4th day my daughter's marriage was there. And I sat 7 days here. I did not realize, Krishna, why did you do this? And then he was going back. He was scared his wife is going to beat him. But then while going near his house, he saw that all the neighbors were glorifying. Oh, what a wonderful marriage you conducted. It was wonderful. He said, I was there in the katha 7 days. And then Krishna had taken the form of Narasimha Mehta and did the whole marriage. Yogakshema Mahamya. So this is Ananya Bhakti. And there are not many examples. Prabhupada speaks about Arjuna Acharya. So there are many examples in the Grihastha. In fact, the Grihasthas will be more motivated to practice Ananya Bhakti. And especially, it's not that, the men sometimes have to be dealing with the outside world, work out and, earn money. There is, consciousness gets affected. But the Matajis are at home, they are cooking for the deities. And it's more directly, we can be in that consciousness where we can practice continuous devotion. But for us, most important is to understand this definition of pure devotional service. And we are not at that level where we are practicing Ananya Bhakti. And wherever we are situated, how we can facilitate our life where we can chant more, we can hear more. If we start focusing on that, then at a certain point it will come that we can understand and come to these levels of consciousness. Sometimes, this thought scares us that, I have to continuously think about Krishna 24 hours. My goodness, this is madness, you might think. It's madness. How I can think continuously 24 hours about Krishna? But if you reflect and think, you are thinking 24 hours about matter, material. If the consciousness is material, you are thinking always about matter. And thinking about matter is also always going to make you miserable. But better than think about Krishna and make yourself blissful. So like that, we'll have to work on it. And it's a question of understanding the philosophy, applying it, and understanding our situation right now and what needs to be done right now in the given situation. Sthane sthita, what is to be done? Situate ourselves in the Varnashram, wherever we are, and how we can practice more hearing and chanting. That's what we need to do practically. I hope it is clear, Mataji. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Yes. Okay. I'll just take one slide and end up, although it's time up, but still I would like to finish what Prabhupada is saying about this. Now, Prabhupada is saying about Anushilanam in his Nectar of Devotion summary study. This devotional service is sort of a cultivation. It is not simply inaction for people who like to be inactive or devote their time to silent meditation. There are many different methods for people who want this, but cultivation of Krishna consciousness is different. The particular word used by Srila Rūpa Goswami in this connection is Anushilan, or cultivation by following the predecessor acharyas. Here, Anu Prabhupada is using following. That is the meaning he is using here. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us. So this is what Prabhupada has to say. Now, further, all activities may be divided into two classes. One class may be for achieving a certain goal, and another may be for avoiding some unfavorable circumstance. Now, please note this. We discussed from Jiva Goswami's commentary these different shades, connotations, pravritatmika and nivritatmika. Pravritatmika is action, that worship, and nivritatmika is non-action, like meditation. But here, this is a different meaning based on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, what Prabhupada is taking. In Sanskrit, these activities are called pravritti and nivritti, positive and negative action. There are many examples of negative action. For instance, a diseased person has to be cautious and take medicine in order to avoid some unfavorable illness. Now, pravritti and nivritti is different from pravritatmika and nivritatmika shades of the connotation of the word sheel. It is completely different. Please don't confuse the two. This Prabhupada is explaining from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and let me give you an example to understand this. Prabhupada is given an example. Now, in sadhana bhakti, there are 20 angas. The first 20 angas are the most important angas. The first 10 are do's, and the second 10, that is from 11 to 20, are don'ts. Just like we have do's, 16 rounds, the don'ts are following the 4 regulative principles. By doing 16 rounds, we can remember Krishna. And by following the don'ts, also we can remember Krishna. So in that sense, do's and don'ts, this pravritti and nivritti has been done. Like the doctor tells, take this medicine, this is do. Avoid these foods, that is don'ts. So the do's and the don'ts is what is, here the classification. In sadhana bhakti, what actions have to be, what are the do's, yama, and what is the niyama and what is the yama. Like that is Prabhupada's explanation. Prabhupada has taken this from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. So we will now in the next class go to Krishna Anushilanam. That will be tomorrow. Is it okay? Any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, Srila Rūpa Goswami Pad ki jai.